Hey guys, it's Bill from Topaz. Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a Maybach for you, and not any normal Maybach, as if Maybachs can be normal. It's a 57 SC, so the C stands for coupe, and it's made by Xenatec. As you can see, right behind me, it's a coupe. So it's a very, very unusual car. Let me show you a few of the details and what we're going to be doing. I'm sorry that's currently in a bit of a state in terms of the car, because the car has actually had some parts of it, when the customer bought it, had a couple of stone chips on it, and he wants it absolutely perfect. This car was £700,000 when it was new. Only 6 were made. That's right, only 6 were made. So obviously the customer wanted it absolutely spot on. But I mean, before I go into the details of the car, as you can see, it's a big car. It's a very long car. It's the same sort of size as an S-Class essentially, but as a coupe, which is really fantastic. Now, things we're going to be doing on the car. Let's go through the details. So we're going to be doing some repair work, as you can see now. That's why the panels have been removed. So you have areas that have been taken off. We're also going to be doing some obviously detailing work and also paint protection film. But, and there's a big but right there, no pun intended, is the fact that the customer has slightly changed in the sense of what he wants to do. The car, obviously, he wants it absolutely perfect. It's a repeat customer. We've done his 812 in skin, in crayon, which we did a video of, which was great. We did his 812 again when we took off the skin, and it was in black. We did it in, we did the level 5. We've done multiples of his cars. We did a Pista, we did the Pullman, which did amazingly well on our channel. That was his car as well. So he's got a really keen eye for these very special cars. And this is obviously going to be one of the ones that I want to show you and I'm excited about. So things like wheels are also going to be changed on this. I'll show you what they're going to look like throughout the process. We're going to customize it after we've made it perfect underneath, and then we're going to have a bit of a controversial one where we're going to be changing the color as well. But anyway, a lot to come in this episode, so make sure you keep your eyes peeled, and I'll catch up with you at the end.
So the first stage with this car, like with any car that enters our workshop, is to fully decontaminate it. Here we're using our new Topaz car care products to work on the car. If you haven't done so already, make sure to check them out. I've put the link below. Each wheel is treated and then carefully brushed using the fine horsehair brushes to lift any dirt from the apertures. The wheels are then carefully rinsed with hot water to wash away any dirt and brake dust that now has come loose. Every panel gap on the car is then brushed carefully. We do this to guarantee that when we're working on the car, no contaminants can interfere with our processes, which could be a nightmare, trust me. So no stone is left unturned when preparing a car like this. Basically, if the whole process doesn't go smoothly, then the car can end up being delayed, which neither us or the customer wants. Once we are happy, the whole car is rinsed off, taking any dirt that was in the panel gaps and apertures with it. This allows us to move on to the bit, which is a good bit, which I know all of you like. Snow foam. We snow foam the whole car. Once the car is covered, the snow foam is allowed to sit for several minutes. This gives it time to lift any dirt from the paint surface, which can be safely washed away. This is the best way to reduce risking paintwork damage. I'm thinking about adding a high quality snow foam and lance to our car care store actually. Let me know in the comments below if you think that's something you'd want to purchase from us. Once the car is rinsed, we repeat the snow foam process, except this time we then shampoo the car before rinsing. This allows our detailers to guarantee the paint surface isn't contaminated. Once the car is rinsed again, you can really start to appreciate that electric blue paintwork. But it's not going to stay looking like that for long. The car is moved upstairs. Those of you that are familiar with our channel will know that TopazSkin is done upstairs. This is going to be epic. For this car, as I mentioned at the start, we actually repaired some defects in the paint when chips and scratches, had occurred over the years. We're not including that in this video, as that would be a whole other video's worth of content. So after the blue paintwork is in perfect condition, the car can begin the TopazSkin process. You'll probably be familiar with our TopazSkin process by now, but for those of you who aren't, the first step is to spray every panel with the rubbery base layer. This base layer is what allows TopazSkin to be peelable. Better yet, because it's not actually an adhesive, there is no residue left over when TopazSkin is removed. Every blue part of the car is covered with this layer, making it ready for a color change. The next stage is to spray the color. This step is just like a normal paint job. We are painting black on this car, which I'll tell you more about at the end of the video. Several layers of color are sprayed to get the perfect finish and completely transform the look of this Maybach. Our painters carefully watch for any defects or contaminants as they go on and start painting each panel. If necessary, a panel will be entirely repainted. Now you see why it's so important that the wash bay process is done perfectly. It's already looking like a different car, and we haven't even put it back together yet. The final stage of the spraying process is the TopazSkin clear coat. This specifically developed clear coat actually has self-healing properties, and when combined with the base coat, can actually provide protection to the paintwork beneath, a bit like PPF. The clear coat is also what provides that glossy paint finish. However, the finish is by no means perfect yet. That's where our detailers come in.
So the car's out of the booth now and is actually being sanded behind me. Let's go through some of the details whilst it's being sanded. Now the customer has opted for, usually in a TopazSkin, you get the car being finished in the same way that the manufacturer would have finished it. So we match the orange peel to the same degree. This customer is very particular and he wanted it to be totally leveled off, meaning that he wanted to do a level 5 treatment on top of the skin. So it had basically very, very little orange peel, very, very little paint distortion, giving you the ultimate in terms of the finish and the way the car looks. Which I think you guys already know a bit about level 5 details and how we remove the orange peel on the car. If you haven't, we'll link it up here anyway to watch some of our older videos that you can actually have a look at. But let's go through some of the details. So, as you can see, the panels are now actually being sanded. And the reason why it's got like a milky feel to it, as you see, it's actually like a white texture, and this is actually the clear coat. So this is the clear coat that's actually being removed from the TopazSkin. So this is obviously a TopazSkin clear coat, and it's being removed to be able to be flattened. So what Mindy's doing right now is going around and making sure that every single part of the car is flat. Every single part of the surface is absolutely flat as possible. Apologies about the noise, it's an active workshop and it's one of those things where all these machinery, it's loud. But anyway, but this essentially what will happen is once you do this stage, and as you can see here, the front, which has already been done, it's actually matte. And the reason why it's matte is because once we've sanded it down, it's almost like having millions and millions of scratches on the surface. So it actually mattens the actual paint. But then once you start polishing it up again, that's when the scratches get removed and then the shine really comes through, and then the perfect reflections come through as well. So that's exactly what happens, and that's why now this car is going through the stage. So anyway, let's see them go through some more of the car, and I'm looking forward to seeing the next stage.
As I mentioned, the guys are now polishing the whole car. This restores the gloss by removing the sanding marks from leveling the paintwork. At this point, the clear and sharp reflections start to appear, making the color really stand out. Every single piece of the paintwork has been polished, or it will be really obvious where there are still sanding marks. Using a small polishing machine helps with hard to reach sections. Next, the microfiber pad is used to remove any haze on the paintwork and further increase the gloss levels. This process now is exactly the same as how we would level 5 a car with factory paintwork. This is one of our most discerning customers, so the finish has to be perfect. Finally, the tuning stage boosts the gloss level even further, making the car literally shine like a jewel. This process is carried out all over the car to guarantee we have done the TopazSkin justice. Now that the paintwork is finished, our detailers move on to the interior. Because this isn't a new car, especially given that light interior, the interior is definitely due a refresh. Our detailers carefully sponge and brush the leather to restore the original color without damaging them. Every vent and aperture is brushed. I can't stand dust anywhere. We use fine horsehair brushes, which is soft enough not to damage the interior. Some of these interior pieces will be irreplaceable given how rare the car is. Finally, the whole car is ready to be positioned in our handover bay and given a final last touch to make sure it's looking perfect for the customer. So without further ado, let's show you the final result.
And there you have it, guys. That was the Maybach Xenatec in all its glory. I'm really sorry I couldn't be there to be right next to the car when the car was taken delivery of. I was actually not in the country, but it's one of those cars that I saw just before it was completed, and when the Forgiato wheels were put on, that completed the whole thing and just made it look really, really aggressive, elegant, young. Love it, absolutely love it. So anyway, let's go through exactly what we went through in terms of the processes. We made sure the paintwork underneath was absolutely perfect. So the blue was also a lovely color, but they had a couple of defects that came from the factory from when it was converted. And then we wanted to make sure it's absolutely perfect. As I said before, the customer is very particular. One of our very good customers and repeat customers, so he wanted it spot on, he wanted it perfect. So that was done. We paint corrected, we painted a couple of areas to make sure it's 100%. Then after that, we then sprayed on obviously stage 1, stage 2, then we went through all the whole processes of the TopazSkin process and making sure that the blue turns into black. And the black that we chose was the Royce diamond black with a phenomenal fleck in it. Once that was done, we then decided to apply, obviously we then did a level 5 detail on top of the skin, so we made sure that the skin is actually as level as possible, obviously taking the shape of what's underneath as well, so you are limited by that, but it looked phenomenal because the reflections were very sharp. After that, to seal all that in, we applied a ceramic coating to make sure that the skin lasts for as long as possible, and with this gloss factor is phenomenal. And yeah, then we put on the wheels, we detailed the interior, we made sure the interior was absolutely perfect. We also protected the interior. The light grey interior matches very well with the exterior now, and a bit of the chrome details of the front, which again, there was a lot of chrome there. We removed some of the chrome just to give it a bit more of that aggressive look, so that was done. And then we put the wheels on, and then it was ready to go. It looks, honestly, I'll let you guys tell me what it looks like down below. Let me know if you like how this car looks in the comments. I'm really interested to see what you think. It's a big customer of ours. He's already giving us another car, which is going to be an even bigger project than this one. It's an old Mercedes, and we're going to be showing that to you guys very soon, and letting you know exactly what car that is and what we're going to be doing to it. But that's to come in the future. So there you have it, guys. That was the video. Make sure to like, share and subscribe. Check out our car care product range. Link is in the description below to get some of your Topaz love at home so you can do it yourself. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next video. Thank you very much for all your support. Take care.